If you have a JVC projector, you may not realize that your projector isn't actually 3,840 pixels wide. It's actually 4,096. And if you have a challenging setup of throw distance and screen coverage, particularly if you have a scope screen, there's a kind of a hidden secret menu setting with regards to installation mode, lens memory, zoom, aspect ratio that you may be able to take advantage of to fill more of your screen, use more pixels, and get a bigger picture than you could be able to achieve otherwise. I use this in my setup. I have a JVC NX7 right above me. I've got a 163-inch scope C-more screen. My throw distance doesn't completely allow me to fill it. So when I'm watching ultra-wide scope, widescreen aspect ratio content, I use this zoom setting to be able to get more fill. Now there's a little bit of confusion about this. There's been some questions about it in the comments of my prior videos where I made reference to it. And so I want to demonstrate it very discreetly here, explain exactly what it does, show it off. And again, if you can make use of this, it could make a big difference in your overall home theater setup. So let's take a look at the projector menus and this setting. Okay, so if you go into your JVC menu and you go over to the third option, that's the installation mode, lens memory settings, and all of that, way down at the bottom here we see there's an option called aspect. Generally speaking, most situations, if you've got a 16:9 screen, any of kind of the regular default simple home theater setup situations, you're going to want to leave this to auto. But setting it to zoom is where kind of this extra fill, the ability to use the extra pixels, and all of this extra power comes from. Alright, so what I've started here is Empire Strikes Back. We're in the Hoth scene. Luke's about to take down the AT-AT. This is a 240 scope, ultra widescreen aspect ratio movie. And I am on my scope screen field image here, but I do have the projector zoomed just for a 16:9 fill so we can kind of see the entirety of how everything falls out, everything fits on the screen, and how it all comes together. If I bring the lights up, you can see actually how much of the image is on the screen. Again, this is an ultra widescreen presentation. Inside the 16:9 window, our aspect ratio is set to auto. But if I change this and I change the aspect ratio to zoom, notice we just got bigger. But the important part is that we didn't just get bigger in the horizontal space to use those extra pixels on the left and the right, but the JVC, the projector, it actually zoomed the image up in its entirety. So I think that's one of the misconceptions about using the aspect zoom setting, is that you're actually like zooming and cropping and losing picture information. When you use this in the proper situation, again, that is to fill more of a screen in an ultra widescreen setup, you're not going to lose anything. If I actually had a 16:9 movie up and I changed the aspect zoom from auto to zoom, I would be losing picture information. It would be widening the pixel width perhaps on my screen, but I would be losing information above and below. But in this case, again, with the scope setup, you're not doing that. So ultimately what you would want to do is use the lens memory settings of the projector in conjunction with this, such that in your scope, your ultra widescreen aspect ratio lens memories, you set aspect to zoom, then you use the projector zoom, shift, and all of that to maximize the image on your screen. And you're effectively gaining what it would have otherwise taken extra throw distance to accomplish without losing anything. The only real trade-off that you're making, of course, is that you've got a really minor upscale on your image. The projector in this case is actually using more pixels. It's using 4,096 pixels. The 3840 needs to be scaled up, and it's using a little more as well then of the vertical pixels than it would have otherwise. I would consider solving installation problems and throw distance problems and screen fill problems to be well worth this trade-off for anything that you probably can't even perceive with regards to a difference in the upscaling in the pixel usage that you get as a result of using this setting. So just for the sake of completeness here, I want to show you what you would not use this for. Say it again, do not use it in these scenarios. Do not use aspect zoom in these scenarios. I'm back to the Kaleidescape menu here. I've got a full 16:9 setup, a 16:9 fill, and I want to show you why you wouldn't want to use this in any type of a 16:9 setup. It doesn't benefit you. So right now the zoom is set to auto. You can get an idea looking at the picture, the image on the screen, of just how much of the movie posters you can see. You can see the top of the Star Wars Rogue One logo. You can see the very top of Clifford's head down in the lower right. But now if I hit zoom, I'm losing information. Yeah, I got a little wider. I'm using those pixels on the side. But in this specific case, now I am in fact pushing picture information up and down, above and below the screen. So let me flip it back and we'll see the Rogue One logo comes back down. Ron's gone wrong. We can see how much more of his head is like clear to the top of the screen relative to the zoom mode. Now the top of his hat is pretty much there at the top of the screen. So I think this is a powerful projector setting, kind of a hidden gem maybe of the JVCs or any other projector for that matter that may actually have like the true 4K. Technically speaking, the 4096 wide pixel size is true 4K as it's defined in certain specs and standards. So if this is useful to you, if you're employing this in your setup, please sound off in the comments, share your story, let other people know what specifically are the logistics in your setup that this proved to be useful, why are you using it, and what is it doing for you. In private emails and in some of my consulting sessions with folks, I've recommended this option to a number of people that were able to very much benefit from it in the same capacity that I do here in my room. Otherwise, please do all the regular YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share the video, all of that, leave some comments, and if you'd like to support the channel, particularly if this tip was helpful to you, hey, super thanks, PayPal, Venmo tips, I very much appreciate them, and do your shopping from Amazon and Audio Advice with my affiliate links. Buy yourself a brand new JVC projector over there at Audio Advice. Thanks so much for watching, and come on back for more home theater discussion and fun.